For this practice, you might want a couple of blocks or a couple of small piles of books that you can use to support yourself in one of the poses towards the end of the practice. So when you're ready, find a comfortable seat. A nice long spine, shoulders away from your ears, a little bit of tension in the belly. Close your eyes and just give yourself a moment or two to check in with your body. And to allow the breath to settle into the belly. And then just before we begin the practice, maybe set yourself an intention. And that intention might just be to enjoy the next hour on your mat. It might be an intention for the day, something you want to focus on. It might be an intention for the week. Maybe it's something that you've been putting off. Set yourself an intention to do that thing. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Big inhale, fingertips reach up to the ceiling, thumbs reach back, shoulders up towards your ears. Draw the belly in. And let the shoulder blades come down the back, the shoulders come away from your ears. As you take the right hand down onto the mat, reach the left hand tall. And exhale, taking a nice side bend. Maybe walking that right hand out to the side. Inhale as you come back up and change sides. Exhale as you fold. And inhale as you come back up. Right hand on the left knee. Left hand down behind you to twist. Exhale as you twist. Inhale back through the center. Exhale for the other side. And inhale back through to the center. Take the hands behind, interlace the fingers, squeeze them down towards the floor. Squeeze your thumbs down towards the floor. Draw the shoulder blades together, broad chest. Little tuck in the chin. Draw the belly in tight. Exhale as you fold forwards, just coming forwards with the chest. Let the crown of the head come down a little maybe. And then perhaps think about taking the little fingers up towards the ceiling. Squeezing the shoulder blades together. Exhale, release. Roll forwards over the knees or take your knees out behind you. Tabletop. Hands and knees. So a nice wide platform with the fingers, spread the fingers out. Turn the elbows so the pits of the elbows are facing forwards. And as you bend the elbows, they fold back towards the hips. Draw the belly in. Exhale, tuck the pelvis round the spine in cat pose. And inhale, round the belly down, but keep it tight. Cow pose, squeeze the sit bones back. Maybe gazing forwards, or maybe just reaching the crown of the head forwards, whichever feels more comfortable for you. And then keeping the hips above the knees, keeping that round, that hollow in the low back. Going to walk the hands forwards into puppy pose. And let the armpits come down towards the floor. And just give yourself a moment or two here to let the shoulders stretch, let the shoulders open. And slowly walk it back. So we're going to come into thread needle pose, but this time on the forearms. So it can be a little bit more awkward because there isn't quite so much space with the forearm on the mat. If you prefer to do it with long arms, you can do it with long arms. Let's bring the left forearm across the mat in front of you. Open the right shoulder, take the hand over behind you. Just think about opening the shoulder up to the ceiling, maybe gaze up to the ceiling if it's comfortable for your neck. And as you release it, thread that hand down and under. Until your right shoulder touches down. Maybe resting on the forearm. And trying to push that right hand through as far as you can. Inhale as you bring it back. Ready to change sides. Forearm across the mat. Opening up with the left shoulder. Roll the shoulder towards the ceiling. Keep the belly drawn in tight. Exhale, bring that left hand down and under. Push it as far away from you as you can. Trying to let the left shoulder come down to the mat. And maybe resting on the forearm. Inhale as you unwind. Coming back into tabletop. Just for one more pose in tabletop. So we're going to take a cross stretch. So draw the belly up, nice flat spine. A little bit of power down through the fingertips as you feel the shoulders engage. And then keeping the belly tight, right heel up and back behind you. Left hand reaching forwards, but turn the palm facing up. So you can reach the palm of the hand to the ceiling at the same time as taking that right heel towards the ceiling. Lots of work in the low back, so keep the belly tight. Exhale as you bring it down. Change sides, left heel, right hand, turn the palm up to the ceiling. Lift heel and palm, keep the belly tight. And release. Back into tabletop and back into child's pose. Arms extended. Let's make them active. So come onto the fingertips. Ears in line with the upper arms. Just squeezing gently forward through the fingertips to engage the shoulders as the sit bones push back towards the heels. And then set the palms back down on the mat, fingers wide. Inhale, tuck the toes. Exhale, lift up and back. Downward facing dog. Nice and easy, squeezing into one heel. And then the other. Squeeze into one heel. And then the other. One more time. And then resting into both heels. Again, engage the fingertips. Push the fingertips forward so your shoulders come up towards your ears. And reach the sit bones out behind you. Draw the belly up. Look towards the thumbs. Baby steps or big steps as you come forwards. Exhale over the thighs. Inhale, lift halfway. A nice flat back as you reach the chest forwards. Exhale all the way down. And a nice big inhale, a flat back again as you come up. Palms together at the top. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale down, take one foot back and the other. Lowering down on the knees if you like, or shoulders. Exhale down. Inhale, baby cobra, upward facing dog. Chest reaching forward, shoulders broad, shoulder blades down the back. Inhale, tuck the toes. Exhale, press back. Downward facing dog. So straight away getting a little deeper in the hips here. So sink into the right heel. Inhale, left heel up and back. As you bring it forwards, we're going to bring that left knee towards your left elbow. Exhale, bring it forward. Keep the shape of the dog. Just draw the knee up underneath you as tight as you can. Then bring it further forwards into a high plank, knee to elbow. Then send it up and back. Exhale, bring it down. Sink into the left heel. Inhale, right heel. Exhale, curl the knee under. Keep the shape of downward facing dog. And then coming a little further forward to bring the knee towards the elbow. And up and back.
Exhale, bring it down. Look towards the thumbs, baby steps, or even big steps now. Exhale over the thighs. Inhale. Exhale. And a nice big inhale. Squeeze into the big toes. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale. Half lift. Exhale all the way down. And stepping back with the other foot. Again, knees or shoulders. Exhale down. Inhale up. And tuck the toes. Exhale, press back. So this time the same action, but we're going to take the leg underneath, across underneath the body. So starting with the left leg raised, so right heel squeezes into the mat, left heel reaches up to the ceiling. Exhale, curl the knee under, keep the shape. Bring it forward to touch the elbow, and then cross the leg underneath you. Maybe think about opening the right shoulder to the ceiling. Couple of breaths here, keeping the hips lifted. Exhale, bring it down. Send the leg back. Ready to change sides. Sink into the left. Inhale, right. Exhale, curl the knee, keep the shape. Bring it forward, touch the elbow. Send the foot across underneath you. Maybe open the left shoulder. A couple of breaths, keeping the hips high. When you're ready, exhale, bring it down. Send the foot back. Look towards the thumbs. Big steps all the way forwards. Exhale over the thighs. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale all the way down. And a nice big inhale all the way up. Bring the palms together at the top. Exhale, squeeze hands to the heart. And let's take another big inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale down, step back. Again, taking whichever option you like to lower down, knees or shoulders. Exhale down. Inhale up. Tuck the toes. Exhale, press back. Starting to think about warrior one here. When you're ready, sink into the right. Inhale, left heel. Exhale, bring it forwards. Ready for warrior one, so that back foot comes down 45 degrees. Engage the belly, lift the heart forwards as you come up. Find your warrior one. Lots of engagement in that back leg. Shoulders soft. Gazing forwards, or maybe even gazing up towards the little fingers. Turning the little fingers in towards each other just a little bit. A couple of breaths here. And then exhale, release the shoulders, bring the hands behind, interlace the fingers. Squeeze the thumbs down towards that back heel.
We're going to come forwards into Humble Warrior, starting with a flat back. So lead with the chest, draw the chin up, exhale. Nice and deep into that left hip. Trying to keep a flat spine. Lots of work in that forward leg. And then if it feels good, let the crown of the head hang down and let the little fingers float up to the ceiling. Inhale as you come back up. Float the hands up, warrior one. And exhale all the way down. Turn the toes at the back, step back. Downward facing dog. Ready to change sides, sink into the left heel. Inhale, right. Exhale, bring it forwards. And planting that back foot down. Engage the belly, lift the chest forwards. Inhale up. Warrior one. And lots of engagement in that back leg. Little fingers just turning in, almost to wrap the shoulders around the body. A couple more breaths here. Exhale, bring the hands behind, interlace the fingers. Thumbs squeeze down towards that back foot. Exhale as you bring it forwards. Long spine. Flat back, lots of work in that front thigh. And then maybe let the crown of the head hang down. Little fingers float up to the ceiling. Just being aware of any sensations in your shoulders. Inhale as you come back up. Warrior one. Exhale, both hands come down. Turn the toes, step it back. Downward facing dog. And then look towards the thumbs, coming forwards as you like. Maybe a big step, maybe a jump. Bring it forwards. Exhale over the thighs. Inhale, lift halfway. As flat back as the tummy reaches towards the thighs. Exhale all the way down. Big inhale all the way up. And then turn the little fingers back, coming down into powerful pose. Let's sweep the little fingers back. Send the hips back. Up into powerful pose, chair pose, Utkatasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale down, take the right foot back on its own. Maybe separate the feet a little bit, just for balance. Squeeze back into that back heel, draw the belly up. Inhale, lift into a lunge. Again, just have the little fingers turning in towards each other. And that sensation that the shoulders are almost wrapping around the body as you do that. Then let's come wide with the arms. Fit the arms wide. I'm going to bring the left shoulder forward. So choose a gaze point on the right. As you bring the left shoulder forward, the right shoulder back. Taking that nice big twist. Keep the belly drawn in. Shoulders soft. Inhale as you come back through the center. Let the left shoulder come back, choose a new gaze point for balance. Taking that nice deep twist into the belly. I'm going to bring that right forearm down onto the left knee. Either take the left hand over behind you and roll the left shoulder up to the ceiling, or float the left fingers up to the ceiling, whichever works for you. Trying to open up that left shoulder, the left side of the chest. Inhale as you unwind, back up into lunge. Exhale, bring it down. Plant the hands down. We're going to bring the right foot forwards. Exhale over the thighs. Inhale, lift halfway. Tummy just reaching down towards the thighs, heart reaching forwards to flatten the spine. Exhale down. Coming back into powerful pose, sweep the floor with your fingertips. Inhale up, draw the belly in. All the weight in the heels, back into the hips. Exhale, forward fold, and take the left foot back. Maybe separate the feet a little. Inhale as you come up. Strong left thigh, left buttock. Keep the belly drawn in, wrapping the shoulders. Arms come wide. And this time we take the right shoulder forward, left shoulder back, choosing the gaze point. It's a little bit of activity in the shoulders, but they're resting away from the ears. Inhale as you come through. Choose your new gaze point, taking that big twist into the belly. And the left forearm onto the right knee. Right hand either curls away behind you to roll that right shoulder up to the ceiling, the right side of your chest open. Or maybe floating the hand up. Just encourage that right side of the chest to open. Hey, exhale as you unwind. Inhale. Exhale, bring the left foot forwards. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale down, coming back into powerful pose one last time. Sweep the floor with your fingertips. Draw the belly in. Palms together at the top, reach. Maybe draw the belly in, take a little back bend if it feels good. Let the thumbs get heavy. Chest reaching up. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale down, take one foot back. And the other. Knees or shoulders. Inhale up. Tuck the toes, press back. Downward facing dog. We start to think about warrior two. So let's sink into the right heel. Inhale, left heel. Exhale, bring it forwards. Bring it way forwards. Back foot. Right down across the mat for warrior two. Squeeze into that front foot as you come up. Opening up into warrior two. Make it as long as you like. Trying to have that tuck in the pelvis. That really means you start to feel the inner thigh of that back leg. Gazing forwards over the left hand. So again, we're going to bring the left hand onto the left knee, sorry, the left forearm onto the left knee. The right hand sweeps like you're strumming a giant guitar and opens up to the ceiling. So that right side of the chest really opens up. And you can use this left forearm like a lever to push, lengthen the spine, open up that right side. And maybe keep the forearm where it is, or let it come all the way down onto the mat, whichever works for you. We're going to strum that big guitar again, open up the right side of the chest, but this time reaching so the whole right side body is long, from the heel to the fingertips. Maybe gazing up towards the armpit, perhaps beyond it to the ceiling, whichever works for you. Keep the right side body tight. Inhale as you come back up, warrior two. And if you've chosen a really long warrior two, then maybe just bringing it in a touch as we come into triangle pose. So we're going to settle the front knee back, let the left hip come underneath you, let the right hip just shimmy forwards a little, and then reaching that left side of the chest forward, so thinking about the left side body being long. Reach the left side of the chest forwards, then we can let the left hand come down. Again, just take a big sweep as you bring that right shoulder up to the ceiling. Active in the legs, so pushing as if you were trying to draw the feet together. Big activity in those inner thighs as you try to pull the feet together. Nice. So either hanging out here, or maybe think about taking it forwards into half moon pose, coming over the left foot. If you're coming forwards, choose a gaze point, start to soften that front knee, but keep everything else the same. Soften that front knee, bring the weight forwards, and just allow the back heel to float, keep everything else the same. Whoops. And if you lose your balance, it's okay. Step it back into warrior two. Windmill the back hand up and over. Turn the toes. Step it back. We're getting ready for the other side. I'm going to flip around on the mat. When you're ready, take the right heel up and back. Exhale, bring it forwards. Coming up into your warrior two as long as you like. So again, draw the belly in, have that little tuck in the pelvis until you can feel that back inner thigh just start to pull a little. Then right forearm, right thigh. Left hand strums that giant guitar as you open up the left side chest. Use that right forearm against the knee as a lever to open up the chest. Couple of breaths here, keeping the belly tight, starting to think about the left side body. And then if it feels good, you can take the hand all the way down. Take a big sweep with that arm again. And here again, you can use the right hand, plant it firmly into the floor, and push it to the right hand side to help you to open that chest.
Bringing the arm forwards to lengthen the left side body. Strong, use the left side, really contract the muscles in the left side body to create some strength. So the body is not resting on the hand, it's just holding itself in space. Inhale as you come back up, warrior two. Now I'm going to bring the back foot forwards if you've got a really long stance. Bring it forward just a touch so you have a chance of bringing the weight forwards over the back, over the front foot into half moon pose. So we're going to soften the front knee back. Let the right hip settle underneath you. Let the left hip come forward just a touch. Think about rolling that left thigh in towards the midline a little bit. Keep the right side chest reaching forwards. Let the left hand come down. Right hand up to the ceiling. Right shoulder open. Again, that left shoulder open. The right hand is, I'm definitely challenged today. The right hand is just squeezing against the inner thigh or the shin or the calf, wherever you are, to help you to open that left shoulder. You know, you have those days when you think you said one thing and then you realize you've said something else. Alright, so let's soften the front knee to take it into half moon pose, or stay here in triangle if you like. Soften the front knee, keep everything else the same. Choose the gaze point and let the left heel float. Whoop, my balance is definitely challenged. It's not just my vocabulary today. Just let the left heel float. We'll bring it back down into warrior two. Just for a breath or two, settling the shoulders back over the hips. Windmill the hands down. Turn the toes, step it back. Downward facing dog. Just let everything settle for a breath or two. And then coming out of this little sequence, we're going to walk the hands back towards the feet. So take your time in downward facing dog, have a breath or two, let everything settle. And then gently walk the hands back towards the feet until you come to a standing forward fold. So nice big exhale over the thighs, maybe even cradle the elbows. Just let the crown of the head hang. Trying to lengthen the spine with each exhale. Let gravity take you down. We'll tuck the fingers underneath the toes and start to lift the chest forwards, rolling the shoulder blades down the back, opening the chest, but reaching it forwards to get that nice flat back as you reach forwards, keeping the head and neck in line with the spine. Gentle squeeze back into the knees. Nice. Release the hands, plant them down again, just in front of the feet, so that you can start to bring some weight into the fingertips. As you bring the weight forwards, bring the weight into the left foot and both hands. You're going to take that right heel up and back. And just let the upper body fold. Bring the weight into the hands, float that back heel, standing splits. Take the heel as high as it will go. Keep some softness in the standing leg. Exhale, bring it down. change sides. So give yourself a moment if you need to. It's a lot of work in the hips and the hamstrings. Taking the left heel up and back. Keep that right knee soft. Crown of the head hangs heavy. A little push forwards through the fingertips can help. And bring it down. Whew. Coming back into that forward fold. Let the elbows, cradle the elbows. And then uncurl in your own time. Draw the belly up. Uncurl one vertebra at a time. Until you're all the way up into standing. Give your feet a little walk. Maybe grab some water if you'd like to. Check in with your hips a little bit. Challenge them. So we're going to take tree, starting with whichever foot you like. And then with the option of taking the tree into a leg extension. So I'm going to spend 5 or 10 breaths in tree. And if you want to take it out into a leg extension, then maybe spending 5 breaths in tree and another 5 breaths with the leg extension. Nice long exhale, starting to slow the body down, to slow the breathing down. Another 5 breaths in tree or 5 breaths in leg extension, whichever variation you like. Maybe taking the foot out in front or squeezing the leg out to the side, using the buttocks. If you're standing in tree, just focus on opening up that lifted thigh to the knees, reaching out to the side. It doesn't have to be right out to the side, but just allow it to swing out, use the buttocks to open that angle. And release. Give your feet a little walk. And ready for the other side. Taking tree again on the other side for 10 breaths or tree with a leg extension, whichever you like. Choose your gaze point carefully and allow that knee to open. Use the muscles in the buttock. And then maybe taking it out into a leg extension. Or just staying here in tree and really focusing on the balance. Remembering that the foot doesn't have to be high. Even practicing tree with your toes on the floor is perfectly valid. And release when you're ready. Again, just walk the feet out. Give them a little bit of a chance to recover. I'm going to come down onto the mat. So coming to the front of the mat, coming down into a forearm plank. So a nice big inhale. Palms together at the top. Draw the belly in tight. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands down, step back. And then bring the knees down for a second so you can come into the forearm plank. So bring the forearms down parallel to one another. Elbows underneath the shoulders. Tuck the toes. And lift into a forearm plank. Imagining the front of the body is flat. And either staying here for 5 breaths, really use the belly, tuck the pelvis, or maybe think about taking one heel up just to the level of the bottom. And then the other one, just to the level of the bottom, no higher, otherwise you lose that integrity in the core. And we're going to come back into child's pose, but if you're comfortable to stay in forearm plank and maybe lift the legs again, feel free. We're going to come down into child's pose when you're ready and meet there. A nice passive child's pose this time, just letting the shoulders wrap around the body, forehead rest on the mat. And then when you're ready to begin to move again, we're going to come up onto our tummies. So maybe using a block, or maybe just using the forearms if that feels okay. Coming onto your tummy, with the forearms back down on the mat, just like forearm plank. And if you have a block, just using the block to keep the hands shoulder distance apart. So elbows underneath shoulders, forearms parallel. Reach back into the big toes, push back into the big toes. Firm thighs, firm buttocks, firm belly. And reach the heart up and forwards between the upper arms. And start to think about trying to pull the forearms along the mat towards you, as if you were trying to pull your body forwards along the mat. A little tuck in the chin, just so you can lengthen the back of the neck. Keep that tone in the belly, just for 2 more breaths. And release, you resting your forehead on the block if you have one, or on the mat. And coming back up. Same pose, same technique. Start with the big toes, squeeze the big toes away. This time I'm going to roll the little toes down towards the mat, so we're opening up the back of the thighs. So squeeze the big toes away, roll the little toes down, so each of your toes is touching the mat. Firm thighs, firm buttocks, firm belly, reach the heart forwards. So you feel that big stretch down the front line of the body. Then grip the mat and think about trying to pull it back towards you. You should feel that real build of tone, maybe even a little build of heat in the belly. And a little tuck in the chin, lengthen the back of the neck. Shoulder blades might even try to pull down the back. Everything is in tone. 2 more breaths. And release. Again, just resting your forehead. Resting your forehead on the block. Nice. Take the block away. Bring the arms down beside you with the thumbs pointing out, palms facing down. Coming into flying locust. So we start with the big toes again. Squeeze the big toes away. Turn the little toes down so that they're touching the floor. Then engage thighs, buttocks, belly, chest. Reach the chest forwards. Try not to crank with the head until the shoulders just lift off the mat. And maybe you can think about rolling the shoulder blades down the back. And release. Coming up again, big toes, little toes, thighs, belly, buttocks. Roll the shoulders. This time we can float the hands, roll the thumbs up towards the ceiling, and really lift the chest forwards and up. And release. Last one, this time we'll keep the legs involved. Big toes, little toes, thighs, buttocks, belly. Roll the shoulders, lift the heart. Float the hands, lift the thumbs, float the feet. Two more breaths. And release. Give yourself a rest. Just maybe using the forearms as a pillow. And then taking your time as you start to bring things back into child's pose, remembering that we're turning a back bend into a gentle forward bend. So take your time, come up through tabletop, and slowly take yourself back into child's pose. And again, passive child's pose. Let the armpits and the shoulders wrap around towards the floor. Belly firmly down between the thighs, which means you need to breathe into the back body, the back of the rib cage. And slowly coming back up to kneeling when you're ready. So this is where we need the blocks again. If you have two, ideally, then we need two. And remembering that if you have yoga blocks, they've got three settings, so low, medium, and high. So choose a setting that works for you as we come into Lolasana. We haven't tried this for a long time. So maybe wrap the fingers over the front of the blocks so that you can have something to grip against, and the heel of the hand has got something to press against as you try to bring the weight up off the shins. So have the heel of the hand somewhere just in front of the hips so that your center of balance is not too far forwards, otherwise it gets a little easy to topple forwards. So I'm going to squeeze into the heel of the hand and just lift the knees up towards your chest. Just for a couple of breaths, and let them come back down. It can be a big stretch on the top of the feet as well, so just being a little bit gentle there. Squeeze into the heel of the hand, lift the knees towards the chest, and bring it back down. So the next time we come up, we're just going to take one foot off the floor, squeeze, lift, and maybe just take one foot off the floor. Aiming for the other foot, squeeze, lift, lifting the other foot. And then if you're feeling strong, maybe just find your center of balance again. We can
think about taking both feet off the floor and really focusing on that lift. Use the core to lift the knees up towards your chest as you come up into Lolasana. Lift, squeeze, and even if it's just for a moment or two, just bringing both feet off the floor. Starting to build up some arm strength, some shoulder strength. Maybe coming up a second time if you feel good. Squeeze, lift, bring the weight forwards. Whoops. My balance is definitely challenged today. Bring the weight forwards and lift both feet. Maybe have a cushion in front of you if you feel like you might topple over. I don't know what's happening with my balance today. All right, take the blocks out of the way. Coming over onto your bottom. Extend one leg. Tuck the other one in so that your big toe is just behind the level of your knee. And we're thinking about coming forwards, so maybe bring the hands to prayer, and maybe just bring them down to the mat, whichever works for you. Thinking about little pulses forwards, so leading with the chest. Come forwards, drive into the heel of that extended leg. Come forwards. And then after a few pulses, just let everything come forwards. Really lift the chest forward so you're not rounding the spine. Just aiming to bring your upper body forwards, driving into that extended heel. 2 more breaths. And release. Coming up to the other side. If it feels comfortable to take the leg much wider, then you can take it wide. But make sure that you can feel like you have both buttocks firmly planted on the mat and that one of them is not lifted. So again, hands to prayer maybe. Drive into the extended heel. Little pulses forwards. And then ultimately coming forwards, just squeezing the heart forwards, trying to lift the chest, flatten the spine, finding that nice big stretch. Drive into the extended heel and release. Awesome. Coming around with your bottom about halfway down the mat, almost there. Coming into a bridge, so let's roll down. Spine flat on the mat, back of the head on the mat so the neck is long. And we're going to put the elbows into the mat, just right up against the rib cage. Maybe make a fist. Squeeze into the heels, squeeze into the elbows. And focus on lifting the chest towards your chin as you come up into bridge. So squeeze into the heels. Let the shoulder blades come together. Focus on lifting the chest towards your chin. And then start to put some weight into the big toe mounds as you lift the pelvis up towards the ceiling. There's a big quad stretch. Use the buttocks. Two more breaths. Really squeeze with the buttocks. Lift the pelvis. Chest towards the chin. And release. Oof, nice. So one more stretch for the hips. Bringing the right ankle on top of the left knee. Let that right knee roll away from you. And then reach down between the thighs to take your hands either around the shin of the left leg or underneath the knee around the thigh, whichever's comfortable for you. Try to let the upper body stay down on the mat, including the back of the head. And just draw that left thigh towards you. until you can feel a nice big stretch on the right side, hips and buttock. If you get any sensations in the knee which you don't like, just try flexing the right foot up towards the knee to see if it takes them away. And if it doesn't take them away, then ease out of the pose. Another couple of breaths. Good. Let the left foot come back down, but keep the feet and legs arranged as they are. Take the arms wide, and then let the legs roll to the left so that your right foot touches down, and then look towards the right hand. And coming back up through the center, change the legs over so the left ankle comes on top of the right knee. Let the left knee roll away. Just for a second so that you can take a grip either around the shin or the back of the knee, whichever works for you. Let the upper body come back down onto the mat until you can feel that nice big stretch in the back of the hip, the buttocks on the left hand side. Another couple of breaths. And we'll let that right foot float down, take the arms wide, let the legs come over to the right hand side so that the left foot touches down. And gaze towards the left hand. Inhale, coming back out through the center, take the legs long. Send yourself out into Shavasana. Palms down by your side, fingers curl. And try to let the feet roll out so the little toes touch down to the floor. Find a little bit of length in the back of the neck. Shuffle the shoulder blades so they lie flat. Close your eyes.
Start to bring your attention back to the breath and the belly. Letting your mind's eye watch that gentle rise and fall of your tummy. And then just before we begin to move the body, taking a moment or two just to check in with the physical body. Check in especially with the hips and the buttocks, maybe the low back, just to see how they feel after your practice. And also give yourself a moment to remind yourself of your intention. Remind yourself of your intention for the practice and take a nice big breath into the belly. And let it go. Start to wriggle the fingers and wriggle the toes. Maybe shuffle the hips from side to side. Shuffle the shoulders. Bring the body back to life. And then bring one knee into the chest at a time. Give them a hug. And a little rock from side to side. Before you rock onto your right side, give yourself a moment there. And then press yourself back into sitting. Let's take a nice big inhale together. Palms together at the top. Exhale, squeeze. Thank you for practicing with me again today. Namaste.